I'm Gabriel Constant, and this is the true meaning of dream catchers. I am your host, and my co-host here is...
Hi, my name is Peyton Swanson, and we actually have a very special guest with us today. We have Edna Navis. So Edna, do you want to tell us a little bit about where the dream catchers actually originate?
The dream catchers originated from the Ojibwe tribe. I'm Cree, so this was not part of our culture. Many tribes actually have the dream catcher now, but it was given to from the Ojibwe. It went to the Navajos through intermarriage. It was given like a gift, a welcoming gift, and then other tribes started using the dream catcher too. But there's lots of misconception, but we'll probably talk about that later.
Yeah.
But now we want to talk about some of
well, when did it first start?
the first known written down about a dream catcher was in 1929.
Oh, and from there it just grew on its own throughout the years, right?
Yes.
Right, okay.
What are some of the materials that we might need to use to build a traditional dream catcher?
For the traditional dream catcher, you might want to get some red willow, but only during the spring and the summer months. It's kind of too hard to create in the winter because it gets pretty hard by then.
And what would you say, like how does this kind of weave, would you say, to like get it like this?
Well, when you pick it in the spring, it's pliable, right? So then you just shape it, and a lot of them are shaped like a circle, or they're actually shaped like a tree, like a teardrop. Do we have any that are sort of teardrop shaped?
What about this big teardrop?
Yeah, like it's sort of like that, like a teardrop.
There you go.
And
And this looks pretty complicated.
The traditional dream catcher was made by grandmothers and mothers, and they actually had 7 points on them for the 7 teachings and the 7 prophecies.
What are the 7 teachings, by the way?
Well, that's a whole nother segment.
It's a whole nother story.
Okay, sorry to jump the gun here, but it's really interesting of how it's constructed on teachings, and it's going to be very interesting to learn about that.
Yeah, so what's some of the thread that you'd need to build a traditional one?
Well, the thread that we are using right now is artificial sinew.
Okay.
The traditional way that they were made was when you have your hide stretched out like that, there's a strip on the back there, so they would pull that off, and that would be used to sew the clothing and used for the dream catchers and any. Now we use artificial sinew.
So when you're getting the sinew, I don't recommend going out killing any moose just to get one piece of sinew.
No, you can actually buy them in different stores, and you can actually buy the hoops. But you know, with the traditional dream catcher too, everything was meant as a child grew up to go back into the earth. It was not meant to be kept around forever.
So something more commercialized that you can get at home. You can just go to any of your local stores, really, and find the hoop that you can get.
you can get
some
hoops.
some hoops just like this here. You can get some artificial flowers, some beads, and of course some thread just to build that at home.
How much would you say that would cost in supplies?
Honestly, you could probably get it for under $10 altogether. Yeah.
So just to show you a little bit more of the other different kinds of dream catchers that are constructed, here is a very nice looking dream catcher with a different kind of weave that I noticed here, and is very beautiful. If you could just take a good look at that. And what do you think? Like, is this is more like look like for a window, like to hang in front of a window, right? Or on the wall?
On the wall. And in the webbing, with the traditional way they were done, it was like I said, with the 7 points for the 7 teachings, the 7 prophecies, because a lot of time, like, you want to start teaching your children when they're little, when they're in the cradle, so you kept telling them all those stories. But then the Navajos start putting it with 8 points, because it was spider has 8 legs, and this is supposed to be a spider webbing.
So you can really see how there's really different traditions when it comes to building
Yes.
all the different dream catchers.
And us being Cree, like I'm Cree, we don't have a dream catcher.
Yeah.
It's not part of our tradition.
And this one here, you can see it's built with 2 hoops. This looks very complicated. Probably not something that we're going to be able to tackle today, but definitely I think that we're going to be building something a little bit different.
Yes, and we're going to be doing it the traditional way, and that we'll get into in the next
Yeah.
minute here.
So I think coming up after the break here, we're really going to get into the misconceptions, and also we're going to get going on building our dream catcher coming up next.